and at Ty Schmidt. One half of the hammer, Cowboys AP Tone, 9-year NFL vet, one of the smartest humans to ever play football. Darius J. Butler is here looking incredibly cool. It's a massive day, boys. It's not just us. No. We got Adam Schefter here. And also in the free agency fun zone, we have Schrags and Dan Orlovsky who are going to be breaking down why things happen, how things happen, and they look incredibly cool. A nice little tag team of happiness over there in the corner. Don't you think so, boys?
Without a doubt, man.
Schrags, what should we be looking forward to today, you think, brother?
Salary cap went up to $301 million, meaning there's going to be a rush of signings with teams looking to spend. I look for the wide receiver market to open just as the bell opens in just a few seconds.
Okay, thank you, Schrags. Dan, you look really cool, not uncomfortable at all. The pants aren't too tight. Now, we actually have some breaking news to start this entire thing. Ladies and gentlemen, the belle of the ball was what he was named. A man who was a second-round draft pick out of Cincinnati to the Indianapolis Colts. A wide receiver that everybody wanted. Wow, this guy can take the top off a defense in this modern world where there's two-shell coverage and everybody's keeping everything in front. Is anybody going to be able to be explosive? Is anybody going to be able to go deep? Well, there was one man that did that this past season at a rapid rate. Alec Pierce. Where will he go? Well, he's staying with the Colts. Let's head over Adam Schefter. How the hell did this come to be, Shefty? And what do we know about the Alec Pierce Indianapolis Colts deal that I think is 116 over 4 years, Shefty?
Is that what it is, Pat? 106. So, again, just to confirm, because you're the insider here on your guy, the deal is done. I want to make sure.
Yes, the deal is done. 116 over 4. I'm being told he's the highest paid free agent wide receiver in NFL history.
Wow.
Chris Ballard, Carly Ursay opened up the checkbook. Now, the deal was done. I believe this is how the game is played, by the way. Deal is done by Mike Swenson and C.J. LeBoy, who also helped facilitate the Max Crosby trade to Baltimore. You know what Max and or Mike and C.J. are saying is, hey, we're in this thing. We're doing this thing. Alec Pierce stays in Indianapolis. D-Butt, huge news for the Colts. Now, Daniel Jones, potentially our quarterback. They put the transition tag on him last week, not the franchise tag. Other teams can still sign him and make the Colts match an offer sheet. Albert Breer was reporting this weekend that the Colts offered him the Sam Darnold deal, which would be 3 years, $100 million, which is about 33 per. And then allegedly his team said, we're looking for 50 of them things a year. Now, whatever he can get, we certainly want him to get. Played with a broken leg and an Achilles tear last year. Led us to 8-2, but Alec Pierce said if Daniel Jones is the quarterback, that'll certainly make me want to come back. They had magic together, D-Bud.
Yeah, he's a game changer. Since he's come in the league, he's been a big play waiting to happen, an explosive guy. And when you look at that B-roll, you look at those highlights, a ton of his highlights, his biggest plays, his best plays, come against the best players and the best defenses in the league. So that's a guy that you want to keep in your building. Obviously, Chris Ballard and the Colts and the Ursays, they felt that way as well. This is a big signing, a big job. I know Conman probably wanted him in New England. Everybody wanted him if you want an explosive wide receiver. He changed the game. Defensively, that free safety. If he's in the middle of the field, you better lean the 14 side. If you're split safety, you better be aware of where 14 is. So this is a big-time signing by the Indianapolis Colts.
Joining us now, ladies and gentlemen, is the man who just signed the largest free agent wide receiver deal in NFL history. Wide receiver for the Indianapolis Colts, Alec Pierce.
Yo, what up, yo? Yo, appreciate you guys having me.
Thought for sure you were gone, dude. We all did. We're so happy that you're back. Can you tell me a little bit about the process and kind of where your brain went through this all as they transition tagged Daniel Jones, which means they couldn't do anything to you. You set to hit the market. How did kind of the roads lead back here to Indy? We're obviously incredibly pumped about it, brother.
Yeah, no, I think, with the whole tag thing, I thought initially, and my agents thought initially that we were going to be getting some type of, franchise tag or whatnot. And they were going to be getting the deal done with Daniel, and things kind of went that way for Daniel. So then they ended up having to use the tag. So then it kind of opened it up like, oh, wow, like we're going to be the number one free agent receiver out here. So then those opportunities started flooding in. But I knew where my heart was. I knew, I love the city of Indianapolis. I just seeing where we were at last year, early in the year, like rolling. Like I truly believe we were the number one team in the NFL. And just obviously didn't finish out the season like we should have, but I think we get back to where we were. I believe in Daniel. I know they're going to get his deal done and lock him down, and I think we can be special.
Okay, let's talk about being special because you're right. 8-2, number one team in the league. We had as the number one headline coming out of every single NFL weekend where the Colts are going to win the Super Bowl. That's how damn dominant you guys looked. Defensive side looked good. Offense looked good. Special teams looked good. A litany of injuries happened. Then obviously down the stretch, lose 7 straight. What was the messaging from the team to you about like, hey, we can't go out like that? Was that ever talked about? Was that something you thought about? And why do you think this team still has the capability to go on and win the whole damn thing?
Yeah, no, I think, just from what we did early in the year, I think you see, like, we had something going. We have the same pieces, and it's going to be, especially offensively, I know we're going to have a lot of the same pieces and just keep on working to be better at that. And just, excited we added my boy Sauce. We added him to the roster. And things just kind of, it felt like he got injured, stuff like that just was not really rolling our way last year, which you guys know how it is to really make the run and go the whole way. Like, there's things outside of, just football. Like, you got to be lucky in terms of like having people stay healthy, and a lot of things got to kind of fall your way. And I felt like those things didn't go our way last year, but just excited to play with like my college teammate Sauce, and just a lot of other things went into it. But I know we can be special.
Next time you post a photo with Sauce, let's make sure he doesn't look like a fat ass. A lot of people attacking him out there, Alec. A lot of people attacking him. You getting the bag that you earned and staying here, we're all incredibly grateful. Congratulations, man. Enjoy this moment. You earned it.
Yeah, appreciate you. Thanks for having me, guys.
Thanks for letting us break it. You're the man. Ladies and gentlemen, Alec Pierce.
Yeah, Alec.
Okay, so quickly, what did you hear from him there, D-Butt, whenever he was chit-chatting? It was the glory days of that 8-2 time, which is, I think I need to find myself going back to a little bit more.
Yeah, it's a good run. And like you said, we all know you got to have a run of lucky things and being on your side to finish strong and kind of make a real push to win it all. They showed a lot of glimpses through that first half of the season, and now you get the whole gang back together. That'll help.
Knock on to the Patriots.
Yeah.
Too bad.
He said a lot of opportunities started flooding in. I didn't even want him to say. One of them was Vrabel caught? Because I think he would have really liked Vrabel.
Yeah.
Happy you didn't talk to him if that was the case in it all. But him coming back home, big deal. I thought Patriots were certainly a place that he could go to, especially because how good Drake can throw the deep ball. Drake is a great deep ball thrower, and they're building something and have cash. Obviously, Colts keeping them huge for us.
And just a team that needs a wide receiver. He mentioned he was the number one wide receiver target in free agency for all of the entire NFL. I think a lot of people connected Luke Fickell, his college coach in Cincinnati, with Mike Vrabel, so that was big. Him mentioning Dan Jones, kind of they're getting a deal done there, something being there. That is also kind of very promising for Colts.
Yeah, he said that they're going to get a deal done. Okay, so maybe Albert Breer's thing about, hey, he want $50 million. He want $50 million.
Maybe not true.
I mean, maybe he does, though. Got to play with a broken leg, did what he did.
Exactly.
If he can get it, go ahead and get it. Let's head over to the free agency fun zone. Now, I believe Dan Orlovsky and Schrags both have some thoughts on Alec Pierce, who was the belle of the ball in the wide receiver market, staying in Indianapolis. Boys, what's going on?
Pat, first one out of the gates is obviously Alec Pierce. We're keeping an eye on Mike Evans. We're keeping an eye on a couple others here. But Dan wanted to break down a little bit of film, and I think we got to show how he actually is the deep threat guy that everyone was coveting.
Well, let's cook here, Foxy, okay? Let's cook here. So in 2024, I think he was 22.3 yards per catch. Last year, 21.3. But I want to point out, so this is Pierce, okay? So everyone paid attention to a one-on-one situation where when you're talking about like big plays down the field by Alec Pierce, okay? Sometimes it's versus really good corners. Play this, Foxy, because I want you guys, now freeze this. Foxy, so he's got pretty bad leverage. He's running a corner route, meaning he wants to go to this back pylon. Stingley, one of the best corners in football, is outside leverage. So you can let it ride, Foxy. Now he's got to win and get his head back. This is really good awareness by Alec Pierce of understanding, like, the route. Okay, now you're going to get a post route on the right side, okay? He's going to be on our right side of the screen, post route. Now freeze it, Foxy. This is the big deal to me. As you go down the field as a receiver, you could play it. You don't want to freeze it. Okay, you don't want to create contact yourself here. He does a nice job. Instead of just running into the corner and creating contact, he avoids that corner, and that corner doesn't have the opportunity to get hands on him. Then you allow the big speed play at Foxy to be the factor down the field. That's where that 21-plus yards per catch come into play. And so I think he's done a nice job with his route running or understanding, like, yes, I'm big and physical. I can catch some of these one-on-one throws that we see down the field, but also not just getting into contact with defensive backs just because. So while he is a big play receiver, like, this is awesome. He's a big play receiver. There's no doubt about it. But the fact that he can be a big play receiver and fight through some of that contact, but also avoid it down the field, I think took him from, hey, he's a big, tall, athletic guy that can make plays down the field with his speed, to a way more nuanced, complete wide receiver. It's a big signing for Indy to keep him. I loved him in New York, and I loved him in New England.
I would add this. You know, you look at Alec Pierce, you think of him more, he looks like he's like a lacrosse player, whatever it is. This guy is a dangerous deep threat. The defensive coordinators have to worry about. The list of wide receivers now, as I'm going through my big board here, that are available in free agency to keep an eye on. Rashid Shaheed, Juwan Jennings, Wan'Dale Robinson, Mike Evans, Romeo Doubs, Deebo Samuel. It is a loaded class, and teams are looking to spend. Keep it right here, Pat.
Dubs in the chat. About it. We appreciate you, Schrags and Dano, over there in the free agency fund zone. Now, Alec Pierce, obviously. Schrags just rattled off a bunch of names that are potentially coming. Let's head into, the news, actually, and see how he's doing. Shefty, Alec Pierce gets signed early. What else should we be looking for out of your Twitter account?
Well, I think right now we're waiting on a number of deals. The wide receivers will come into focus. You heard Peter mention Mike Evans. We expect clarity there in this show. Rashid Shaheed, wouldn't be a surprise there. Juwan Jennings is out there. Looks like the Niners will be losing Juwan Jennings at this point in time. Wan'Dale Robinson out there has interest from a few teams. A lot of people have pointed to Tennessee as a natural fit with Brian Daboll as the offensive coordinator in Tennessee, wanting to get back his former wide receiver. We'll see whether they can get a deal done at some point in time. And I do think the Rams are going to be busy here this afternoon as well.
Okay, Shefty, on one final note, you broke Max Crosby on Friday. Congratulations. Shefty. Okay, let's talk about that Max Crosby trade, shall we? Because we haven't really gotten a chance to take a bite out of the apple.